Have you ever felt like you're being prepared for something you can't quite name, as if the universe is stripping everything away just to see what's left of your core? Welcome to RationalDeen. Today we are pulling back the curtain on the final stage of your evolution, because, as a chosen one, you are currently standing at a threshold that most people will never even see. You've endured the trials, you've survived the isolation, and you've mastered the shadows. But what comes next is unlike anything you have experienced so far. This isn't just another chapter in your life. It is the total recalibration of your destiny. Over the course of this video, you are going to learn exactly how to navigate this final transition, how to decode the intense pressure you're feeling, and how to step into the massive power that has been waiting for you on the other side of this shift. Pay close attention, because the fog is about to lift, and the path ahead is finally going to make sense. If you feel called to go deeper than the surface allows, I invite you to join our inner circle of seekers where the real work begins. This space is reserved for those ready to explore the profound truths and advanced insights that remain hidden from the collective noise. As a member, you will gain early access to our most transformative content and exclusive videos designed to guide you through the intricacies of your unique path. This isn't a journey for everyone, but if you find your spirit resonating with these words, you belong among those who are truly ready to ascend. Step inside and let us walk the remainder of this path together. The stillness you are experiencing right now is not a sign of stagnation, but a strategic pause orchestrated by the universe to prepare your spirit for an unprecedented acceleration. It is a heavy, weighted silence that feels like the air before a massive storm, demanding that you sit with your own thoughts and master the art of being present, without the need for constant external validation. This phase is designed to test your internal stability, ensuring that when the doors finally swing open, you have the groundedness required to handle the magnitude of what is coming. In this quietude, the noise of the world begins to fade, allowing the subtle whispers of your intuition to become the loudest voice in the room. You may find that your old distractions no longer hold power over you, and the frantic pace of your past life feels like a distant memory. This is the period of deep internal integration, where the lessons of your previous struggles finally settle into wisdom, turning your past pain into the foundational strength of your future identity. The absence of outward movement often creates a sense of anxiety for those used to constant striving. Yet for the chosen one, this is the time of spiritual recalibration. It is a vacuum created specifically so that you can hear the divine instructions for the next stage of your mission without interference. You are being asked to trust the invisible work happening behind the scenes, recognizing that the most significant growth often occurs in the dark, beneath the soil, long before the first sprout breaks the surface. This silence also serves as a final filter, removing the people and energies that cannot survive the high-frequency environment you are about to enter. As the world goes quiet around you, you begin to see who and what truly aligns with your essence, making the departure of certain connections feel more like a natural shedding than a painful loss. It is a purification of your social and energetic field, leaving only the essential elements required for your upcoming ascent. Finally, you must realize that this stillness is the ultimate preparation for the power you are about to wield. A vessel must be empty and still before it can be filled with something new and potent. The universe is simply clearing the space within you. Once you find peace in this silence and stop fighting the lack of visible progress, you will realize that you are actually in the eye of the hurricane, perfectly protected, while the world shifts around you to accommodate your new reality. The final purge is a relentless process of shedding the last remaining fragments of a version of yourself that no longer exists in the higher realms. This isn't just about letting go of bad habits. It is a deep, cellular release of old survival mechanisms, outdated beliefs, and the masks you once wore to fit into a world that never truly understood you. You might feel a sudden, intense discomfort with things you used to tolerate, signaling that your spirit is literally outgrowing the skin of your former life. This stage often feels like a period of intense vulnerability because the armor you've relied on for years is being stripped away, leaving you exposed to the raw truth of your own power. You are being forced to face the final shadows, the lingering doubts and the hidden fears that have been tucked away in the corners of your subconscious. By bringing these to the light, you are ensuring that nothing from your past has the weight to pull you back down once you begin your final ascent. As the old self dissolves, you may experience a sense of grief for the person you thought you were, even if that person was unhappy or unfulfilled. This is a necessary mourning process that clears the emotional deck, allowing you to walk into your destiny without the baggage of what if or if only. You are being refined in a spiritual fire, where only the purest gold of your soul remains, while the dross of societal conditioning and ancestral trauma is burned away forever. This shedding is also a physical and energetic event that can manifest as a total shift in your environment, your tastes, and your long-term goals. Dreams that once seemed vital may suddenly feel irrelevant, replaced by a singular, focused drive toward a purpose you are only just beginning to grasp. It is the moment where the chosen one stops playing a role and starts embodying their true essence, realizing that the person they were trying to save was actually the person they needed to release. When the last layer finally falls away, you will stand in a state of absolute clarity, no longer defined by your history or your struggles. This final step is the bridge between the preparation and the manifestation, where you stop being a student of your own life and start being the master of it. By letting go of the past completely, you create the ultimate opening for the future to rush in, arriving at the threshold of your power as a clean slate, ready to be rewritten by the divine. The isolation you are currently experiencing is not a punishment or a mistake, but a divine quarantine designed to protect your energy during a critical stage of development. You might find that your phone has gone silent, invitations have dried up, and even your closest connections feel distant or hollow. This is the universe pulling you out of the collective frequency to ensure that the software update your soul is undergoing isn't corrupted by the opinions, fears, or projections of others. In this space of solitude, you are being forced to find your own rhythm and listen to your own internal compass without the constant static of societal expectations. Most people fear being alone because they are running from themselves. But for the chosen one, this isolation is a training ground for spiritual independence. It is here that you learn to distinguish between the voice of your ego and the voice of your higher self, building a level of self-trust that is required for the leadership role you are destined to occupy. You may notice that you no longer fit into the social circles you once navigated with ease, and conversations that used to interest you now feel incredibly draining. This disconnect is a physical manifestation of your frequency rising above the baseline of your old environment. You aren't being antisocial. You are being elevated. The universe is intentionally clearing the room so that when your new tribe arrives, there is actually space for them to sit at your table. This period of removal also serves to break the toxic patterns of people-pleasing and external validation that may have hindered your growth in the past. When there is no one around to perform for, you finally discover who you are at your absolute core. This radical authenticity is your greatest weapon, but it can only be forged in the silence of isolation, where the only eyes watching you are divine. You are being taught to be your own source of light, so that you never have to depend on the flickering candles of others. Ultimately, the isolation paradox teaches you that being removed is actually being reserved. You are being kept in a sacred waiting room, because the power you are about to inherit is too potent to be shared with those who haven't done the work. Embrace this time as a high-level initiation. The loneliness you feel is simply the birth pains of a new level of sovereignty, and soon you will realize that you were never truly alone. You were just being prepared to lead the way. And the synchronicities appearing in your life right now are no longer just coincidences. They have become a sophisticated language through which the universe is communicating its real-time approval of your path. You might see repeating numbers, encounter the same specific symbols daily, or hear the exact phrase you needed at the perfect moment. These are high-level data points intended to confirm that you are exactly where you need to be, even when your physical circumstances suggest otherwise. These signs often intensify just as you are about to make a major leap or when you are facing a moment of intense doubt. They act as cosmic breadcrumbs, guiding you through the fog and reminding you that an invisible intelligence is co-authoring your story. When you stop dismissing these moments and start paying attention to the patterns, you begin to realize that the universe is not just observing you. It is actively conspiring with you to bring your mission to fruition. As your vibration rises, the gap between your thoughts and their external reflections begins to shrink, making the synchronicities feel almost instantaneous. This is a sign that you are moving into alignment with a higher timeline, where manifestation happens at a much faster pace. You are being shown that your internal state has a direct, measurable impact on the world around you, reinforcing the lesson that you are a powerful co-creator rather than a victim of circumstance. Decoding these signs requires a shift from logical analysis to intuitive feeling. The universe doesn't speak in spreadsheets. It speaks in resonance and timing. You might find yourself randomly meeting people who hold the missing piece of a puzzle you've been trying to solve, or stumbling upon information that answers a question you only asked in your head. These high-level signs are the universe's way of saying that the final step is already in motion, and your only job is to stay awake to the guidance. When you live in a state of constant synchronicity, the fear of the future begins to dissolve because you can see the divine architecture behind every event. You stop stressing about the how and when because the signs tell you that the logistics are already being handled. This is the ultimate level of faith, moving forward not because you can see the whole road, but because you see the markers that tell you that you are on the right one. The signs are shouting now because the destination is finally within reach. You have spent years in the waiting room of your own life, gathering tools, healing wounds, and studying the patterns of your soul. But the time for passive observation has officially come to an end. You are now standing at the threshold of power, where the theoretical knowledge you've acquired must be forged into decisive action. This is the moment where the chosen one stops being a title you hold and becomes a reality you live. The universe is no longer asking you to prepare. It is demanding that you perform, pushing you out of the safety of the wings and onto the center stage of your destiny. This transition feels heavy because it requires a total shift in identity from seeker to master. You may feel a sudden surge of adrenaline mixed with a profound sense of responsibility as you realize that the training wheels have been removed. The lessons that once felt like abstract concepts are now the very foundation upon which you must build your new world. You are being called to embody your authority, speaking your truth with a voice that no longer shakes, and making moves that are backed by the full weight of your divine conviction. The threshold is a narrow passage that doesn't allow for hesitation or half-heartedness. To cross it, you must leave behind the safety net of someday and embrace the urgency of now. This is where your willpower is tested against your old habits of procrastination or self-doubt. The energy available to you at this moment is immense, but it requires a clear channel to flow through. By choosing to step forward, you are signaling to the higher realms that you are ready to handle the consequences of your own greatness. In this stage, your internal world and external reality begin to merge in a way that can be both exhilarating and terrifying. You will find that your intentions manifest with startling speed, and the influence you have over your environment becomes undeniable. This is the activation of your true agency. You are no longer reacting to the world around you. You are actively shaping it through the force of your presence. The threshold is the point of no return, where you trade the comfort of the known for the glory of the fulfilled. Finally, crossing this threshold means accepting that you are the solution you have been waiting for. The external guidance you once leaned on will start to fall away, forcing you to trust the God spark within your own chest. You are the architect, the leader, and the visionary of this new chapter. As you take that final step across the line, the atmosphere around you will shift to acknowledge your new status. The preparation is over, the door is open, and the power is yours to claim. Navigating the void is perhaps the most challenging part of the final step, as it requires you to move forward when every familiar landmark has vanished from your sight. You are in the space between who you were and who you are becoming, a cosmic no man's land where the old rules don't apply and the new ones haven't been written yet. This lack of a map is not a sign that you are lost. It is proof that you are entering a territory so unique and so tailored to your soul that no one else could have charted it for you. In the void, your logical mind will try to scream for directions, searching for a logical sequence of events to follow, but you must learn to navigate by feeling rather than seeing. This is the ultimate test of your spiritual sonar. You are being taught to move through the darkness using only the frequency of your heart as a guide. When you stop looking for external blueprints, you force your intuition to sharpen, developing a level of inner vision that remains steady even when the world around you is a blur of uncertainty. This period of darkness is actually a high-density state of pure potential. Think of it as the womb of creation, where everything is possible because nothing has been solidified yet. While it may feel like you are standing still or floating in emptiness, you are actually in a state of rapid gestation. The void strips away your reliance on sight and replaces it with a reliance on faith, ensuring that when the light finally returns, you will have the spiritual depth to sustain the brilliance of your new reality. The key to surviving the void is surrendering the need to know the how and focusing entirely on the who. Who are you in the absence of your titles, your past, and your plans? When the map disappears, your character becomes your compass. By maintaining your integrity and your high vibration in the face of total uncertainty, you are literally weaving the new map out of the fabric of your own consciousness. You are not following a path. You are creating the path with every step you take into the unknown. As you emerge from the void, you will realize that the map was never missing. It was being rewritten to reflect your expanded capacity. The fog will lift to reveal a landscape that is far more beautiful and aligned than anything you could have imagined while clinging to your old charts. You have proven that you can walk in the dark without losing your way, and that level of mastery is what qualifies you to lead others when their own maps eventually fail. The void was never a trap. It was the birth canal of your highest self. Becoming a master of the frequency means recognizing that your internal state is the primary engine of your reality, and everything else is merely a reflection. You have reached a point where you can no longer afford to let external chaos dictate your internal peace. This mastery requires a disciplined awareness of your energetic output, ensuring that you are radiating the vibration of the reality you wish to inhabit, rather than reacting to the one you are leaving behind. You are learning that when you change your frequency, the world around you has no choice but to reorganize itself to match your new broadcast. This alignment is a conscious choice that you must make in every moment, especially when faced with old triggers that seek to lower your state. You are developing an energetic immune system that identifies low vibration influences and neutralizes them before they can take root in your consciousness. It is a process of fine-tuning your spirit like a delicate instrument, weeding out the static of doubt, anger, and lack. As you stabilize your vibration at a higher level, you become a lighthouse, a fixed point of light that remains unshaken regardless of how turbulent the surrounding sea becomes. The beauty of mastering your frequency is that struggle begins to fall away, replaced by a state of divine flow, where effort is replaced by alignment. You stop chasing opportunities and start attracting them. This happens because you are finally speaking the language of the universe, which responds not to your words, but to your resonance. When your thoughts, emotions, and actions are all vibrating in harmony with your highest self, you become a magnet for the people, resources, and circumstances that are necessary for your final step into greatness. As you deepen this mastery, you will notice that your physical body begins to feel different, as if it is being upgraded to handle a more potent electrical current. You may require more rest, cleaner fuel, and more time in nature to ground the high-intensity light you are now carrying. This is the physical integration of your spiritual work. You are becoming a vessel capable of holding a higher charge, which in turn allows you to influence the collective frequency just by existing in a room. Your presence becomes your most powerful tool of transformation. Finally, being a master of the frequency means you understand that you are the architect of your own atmosphere. You no longer wait for the world to give you a reason to feel joy or peace. You generate those states from within and watch as the world provides the evidence. This is the ultimate sovereignty. By maintaining your alignment with the new reality, you bridge the gap between the unseen and the seen, bringing the heaven you've cultivated inside yourself down to the earth you walk upon. The shift from personal healing to a global purpose marks the moment you stop looking inward at your wounds and start looking outward at your mission. For a long time, your journey was about survival and mending the broken pieces of your own story, but that cycle of endless healing is now closing. You have been restored not just for your own sake, but because your specific frequency and your hard-won wisdom are now required by the collective. Your private battles were actually a training ground, equipping you with the unique skills needed to address the challenges of a world in transition. Your assignment is rarely a traditional career path. It is more often a way of being that activates change in everyone you encounter. You may find that people are drawn to you for guidance, or that your mere presence brings hidden truths to the surface in others. This is the chosen one effect in action. You are being positioned as a spiritual anchor or a systemic disruptor, tasked with holding a template of higher consciousness while the old structures of the world begin to crumble. Your life is no longer just your own. It has become a living example of what is possible when a soul wakes up. This transition can feel intimidating because the stakes are higher, but you must realize that you have already been given everything you need to succeed. The universe doesn't call the qualified, it qualifies the called. The very traits that made you feel like an outcast in the past, your sensitivity, your refusal to conform, your deep empathy, are the exact tools needed for your global assignment. You are being moved into a position of leadership where your primary responsibility is to remain authentic and visible, acting as a catalyst for others who are still searching for the light. As your purpose expands, you will notice that the support staff of the universe begins to show up in miraculous ways. When you align with a mission that serves the greater good, the resources you need are provided with a speed and precision you never experienced when you were just focused on personal goals. This is because you are now an operative of the divine, and the universe has a vested interest in your success. The doors that once seemed locked will fly open, because you are no longer trying to enter for yourself, but for the mission you carry. Ultimately, your assignment revealed is the culmination of every tear you've shed and every dark night you've endured. It is the reason you were chosen to be here at this specific point in human history. By stepping beyond your personal narrative and embracing your role in the larger plan, you find a level of fulfillment that personal success could never provide. You are a bridge between the old world and the new, and as you take this final step, you realize that your entire life was a rehearsal for the magnificent work you are about to do. As you stand at the edge of this final transition, remember that the stillness you feel is not an ending, but the gathering of a great wind intended to carry you forward. You have been refined by the fire of your own journey, and now you are ready to walk into the light of your true purpose with an unshaken spirit. If you feel called to explore these depths even further, our membership offers a space for early access and deeper insights for those ready to lead. Before you go, ask yourself, which part of your old self are you finally ready to leave behind so you can embrace what is coming? To help this message find others who are currently walking this path, please write the word destiny in the comments below. Your journey has always been leading to this moment, and the world is finally ready for the light only you can provide.